Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Well, in a major shakeup, the Trump administration says they plan to rescind the nearly 50 years of environmental rules under the National Environmental Policy Act, or NEPA, often called the Magna Carta of the environmental laws. Over the weekend, the White House signaled an interim final rule to remove regulations issued since 1977, sparking concerns from environmentalists and legal experts. Critics worry that this could weaken environmental protections tied to agricultural projects, infrastructure, and energy development. Of course, with a rule this big, legal challenges are expected. However, supporters argue the change could streamline permitting process that often slow down the critical projects. Now, while that rule hasn't been finalized, farmers and stakeholders should be staying tuned, as that decision could impact everything from irrigation systems to rural road construction projects. And NCBA is strongly supporting the Death Tax Repeal Act, led by Representative Randy Feenstra and Sanford Bishop, as the NCBA says repealing the federal estate tax, also known as the death tax, is their top priority. NCBA President Buck Weinbreen said the death tax isn't just a pro-growth, but it's the death warrant for a family business, and said the family-owned farms and ranches operate with limited cash flow, with most of their value tied up in assets like land. As farmland and pasture land values rise, more producers will be hit with this punitive tax, forcing them to sell assets or take on debt. Now, companion legislation was also introduced by Senate Majority Leader John Thune and was also co-sponsored by 44 Senate Republicans. And the Montana Land Board of Commissioners met yesterday during their regular monthly meeting. One of the agenda items on that list was the approval of the DNRC to file an objection on water rights over a family's private 1893 water right in a Stillwater County case. Attorney General Austin Knudsen was a lone no vote on that and told our sister network's Cody Ross he voted against it to stand up for Montana farmers and ranchers.
The question is, because some of this water flows across a portion of state land, which this landowner also leases, does that water then become state property? I think we as a land board have the policy right to say, no, we're not going to bring these kinds of cases.
Now, as mentioned, this is a particular case, and last year's Board of Land Commissioners approved to strip DNRC's decision-making authority over private water rights, and it still stands. We need to take a break, but we're looking at your cattle markets right after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Well, cattle futures flip-flopped their wins and losses yesterday compared to how they started the week on Tuesday. For the feeder cattle, they saw small sell loss as they from the $2 to $3 gains witnessed on Tuesday, while live cattle futures brought themselves back to balance after earning back what they lost on Tuesday. Now, feedlots are doing their best, to hold on to the packers' lower bids, which ultimately is going to be driving the markets today. On the local auction, strong prices continue to be the story for cow-calf producers selling off part of their bred cow stocks. For Miles City Livestock, bred cows under 4 years old average nearly $3,600 a head, while bred heifers also average towards the top end of their ranges and put some distance between their price versus those short-term bred cows that had only been separated by $400 to $500 in many sale barns recently. Feeder steers also continue to hold strong at about $2,100 a head, depending on the weight. And grain markets overall had a softer feel on Wednesday, and early strength faded as that session wore on. Now, the primary weakness stemmed from a correction in the wheat market, which isn't all that surprising given the explosive jump in the prices over the past 3 trading sessions. The double-digit moves higher or lower, that is, in the wheat ultimately pulled the corn and soybean markets down as well. Meanwhile, President Trump's tariff considerations for automobiles and pharmaceuticals announced on Tuesday led to a second straight higher day of the U.S. dollar index, following 5 sessions of lower trade last week, which, of course, aided in that wheat market rally. Well, that's going to do it for our Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.